October 14th, 1978. There is no official record of what happened that day. No hearing logs, no witness statements, no transcripts. And yet, 12 people arrived at a closed session near a place called Velmora Ridge. They came to testify. By the end of the day, all 12 had vanished. Not missing, not declared dead, erased. Their homes were cleared, their names removed, their records sealed, as if they never existed. No investigation was opened, because officially nothing happened. But years later, something was found. An old reel-to-reel recording, hidden inside a sealed archive. It had one label: Old Hill Witnesses. What it contained was not normal testimony. It was fear. Voices shaking, people interrupting each other, moments of silence that feel wrong. And beneath it all, something moving. Because according to that recording, the witnesses never left the room. The ground beneath them opened. Velmora Ridge was once a mining town, established in the early 1900s. At first, everything seemed normal. Coal was extracted, work continued. But deep underground, miners started noticing things. Strange walls, perfect angles, tunnels that didn't match the maps. And sounds, not from falling rocks, not from machinery, something else. Something rhythmic, something alive. By 1912, the mines were shut down. The official reason was safety, but the workers told a different story. They said the ground didn't feel empty, it felt occupied. Over time, the town was abandoned. Only a few families remained. They lived near a place called Old Hill, a quiet rise of land. Nothing special on the surface, but beneath it, no one really knew. In 1956, a government survey team arrived. Their job was simple: study the land, check stability, prepare for development. The lead surveyor was Dr. Elias Voren. At first, his reports were normal. Then, something changed. He described structured voids, spaces underground that didn't behave like natural caves, spaces with shape, with design. The final report was never released. Dr. Voren resigned soon after. Years later, he said only one thing: we measured depth, but not what was filling it. Then came October 3, 1978. A section of land near Old Hill collapsed overnight. No earthquake, no storm, just collapse. It revealed a deep vertical shaft, perfectly round, too perfect. Authorities sealed the area within 2 days, but not before people saw inside. 12 individuals came forward. They claimed they had seen something, and they wanted to testify. The hearing was arranged quickly, October 14, 1978. A temporary courtroom was set up near the hill. No media, no public access. The session began. The first witness spoke. She said she looked into the shaft. At first, there was nothing. Then, light. Not from above, from below. A glow, moving, breathing. The second witness was a former miner. He described symbols inside the shaft, patterns, arrows pointing downward. Then he mentioned a sound, low, deep, not heard but felt, like vibration inside the body. He stopped speaking, refused to continue. Then something happened. A vibration, faint at first, coming from below the room. People noticed, chairs moved, glass trembled. The vibration grew stronger. Then, suddenly, everything stopped. Silence. And then, a voice. Unknown, calm, not part of the hearing. It said, "They are aware." Panic began. People stood up, chairs fell, voices overlapped, and beneath everything, a deep sound, controlled, moving. The final clear voice was the judge. He said, "Remain seated. It is not above us." And then the recording ends. Officially, this hearing never happened. There are no records, no witnesses listed. The judge was marked absent that day. But one person noticed something strange. A clerk named Elena Vask. She found missing files, skipped case numbers, documents that didn't exist. She discovered a hidden classification, subsurface behavioral study, phase 2. It wasn't a legal case, it was an experiment. The documents suggested something disturbing. For years, vibrations were sent into the ground, testing, waiting, trying to see if something would respond. And according to the notes, something did. The collapse was not an accident, it was triggered. The witnesses were not random, they were already exposed, part of the experiment. Then something changed. The response became aware. The final instruction said, "Seal access, terminate surface variables, maintain silence." The witnesses were labeled as variables, not people. Variables, erased. Today, Old Hill still exists, quiet, undisturbed. Nothing usual at first glance. But sometimes people report something strange, a vibration under their feet, a pressure in the air, a feeling that something is not below, but watching. And in the final seconds of that recording, there is something else. A pattern. 12 pulses. And then, one more.